Hey, this is Bronco Mendenhall, coach of the Aggies, and you're listening to Married to the Game, one of my favorites.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Married to the Game. You heard our brand new intro with Bronco Mendenhall. It's one of his favorite shows. Should be one of your favorite shows too.
Shout out Bronco.
Shout out Bronco.
Big Bronco fan.
Big Bronco fans.
Make sure to hit that follow button. Leave a little comment about your favorite part of the show. And if you know anyone married to the game, make sure to tell them about it too. Friends help each other out. These are my friends, Zach Bates,
Here we go.
Snap. How you boys doing today?
Fantastic for the most part. It was a rough week, but a good week as well, you know.
Exciting.
For sports, of course.
Exciting week for sure. Ready to dive in to dissect everything that happened.
Yeah, a chaotic week in sports, and we're going to jump right into it with the Big 12 championship game recap. BYU, Texas Tech. And Kimball, this game did not go your Cougars' way.
No, it didn't. I don't have many words for this game, unfortunately. Bear gets hurt in the first quarter. Would have been nice to see a healthy Bear the whole game because when you lose your mobile quarterback, there's not much you can do already because you're the underdog and now you're just a bigger underdog, as we saw.
Exactly.
But we talked about BYU's got to be dominant in the rushing game. It was better this game.
63 yards.
Yeah, it's like it still wasn't great, but Martin goes for 76. Bear couldn't really run, so that hurt that. But turnovers was the biggest thing. We were like, they got to win the turnover battle, and they underperformed even worse.
Yeah,
4-0 on turnovers.
Yeah, BYU loses the turnover battle 4-0.
So brutal, man.
Ben Roberts of Texas Tech has 2 interceptions. He was easily the defensive player of the game. I'm telling you guys, that linebacker room for BYU is really, or not for BYU, rather for Texas Tech. Yeah,
Tech has a crazy
BYU's
defense.
linebacker room's pretty good too, but Texas Tech's linebacker room is really, really solid. Zach, I want to get your take here. How much do you think Bear Bachmeier being hurt impacted this game?
I would say greatly, largely. Yeah. That was the reason that BYU just beat Utah because Bear was able to take it on the ground and we couldn't stop him.
There was a Bear on the loose in Provo.
That was quoted multiple times, and I think that was probably the reason why he was so dominant against Utah. So taking that key factor out of BYU's offensive play style definitely hurts it takes away their go-to guy, which sucks.
I was going to say Bear is the all-time single touchdown rushing leader for BYU for quarterbacks. So it's like he's not just like an average running quarterback for BYU. He's like quite literally the greatest running quarterback of all time.
It'd be like if Dampier got injured and he could only throw, and you say, how would that change Utah's offense? Greatly. Because that's the offense.
I think it changes BYU's offensive scheme a lot. Texas Tech's for real, though. They are the elitist of elite defenses. And so I think at the end of the day, we already saw Bear Bachmeier against Texas Tech earlier this year when he wasn't hurt. And so I don't think BYU would have even necessarily put any more points on the board.
I think they would have put more points on.
Maybe
give them
another
touchdown.
Give them another touchdown. Maybe, but like Texas Tech kind of had that game.
Yeah, I would take a turnover off the board.
Yeah, you can take a turnover.
I don't think Bear throws one of those picks just because he can actually move around in the pocket.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
He was pretty
give
hampered.
Him another
I'll
touchdown, but I still think Tech wins by at least 14.
Yeah. So by virtue of BYU losing this game, they will now be playing in the Pop Tarts Bowl versus Georgia Tech. They were set to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame declined that invitation because they're a bunch of crybabies about the playoff.
Man, frick Notre Dame.
Yeah, I generally cheer for Notre Dame, but I think they're the least respectable program in college football after what they did this week.
That's so petty. I'm like, you lost. I don't know. I'm like, join a fetching conference if you're that butthurt about it.
I don't understand what the point is of why they're doing it, right? Because I don't know if you guys know, there's a new deal for the playoff next year. It's going to be changing again, where the Power 4 champions are guaranteed to get in. This was signed last year. And then as long as
So like Duke would have been in?
Yeah. I know. And then Notre Dame...
Yeah, that seems like a good fix.
Yeah, seriously. But then Notre Dame is guaranteed a spot if they're in the top 12, which the poll is like the committee's going to slip them in there. So
we kind of like a national exception for Notre Dame.
So
pretty much, it's
half
just
of the
it's
half
stupid.
The playoffs is on an auto bid.
Well, have you guys seen Notre Dame's schedule for next year too? It's
cupcake.
Yeah, it's bad, as it is every year. But like,
Because
guys,
they
join
play
the
the
ACC. Well, but join the
ACC is
ACC and
cupcake.
play some of their better teams. You're going to win that conference every year, and you're not going to have to worry about this anymore.
And I'm like, if Duke is standing here as the best team from the ACC, that is
Your
a
conference
weak
is seriously
conference.
flawed.
Yeah.
Seriously
The
flawed.
Mountain West almost did better than you.
However, I will say, playing devil's advocate here, I understand why Notre Dame is kind of upset because starting out with the CFP rankings, Miami and Notre Dame have the same exact record. They both lost 2 games. Miami's sitting at 18, Notre Dame sitting at 10.
Yeah.
Both of them win out. Somehow Miami ends up jumping from 18 to 10, and Notre Dame drops eventually down to 11. It makes sense why they'd be pissed. Bad move by them.
I get why Notre Dame's mad. I really do. I also it's kind of like anyone with half of a brain knew Notre Dame was playing on borrowed time, right? Because you knew if Miami got up to that spot, they were going to jump them. And I think
we were calling that all week. We're like, Miami's
too much respect to Miami, probably, unless they blew out those teams, which not necessarily.
The only team that really didn't choose to believe that was Notre Dame themselves. And so in my mindset, it's kind of like you can choose to live on borrowed time, but you can't cry foul when the rug does eventually get pulled out from under you, right? And so Notre Dame had a good season. They won the 10 games they were really supposed to. They just lost 2 of them that they weren't supposed to. They were favored in both those games, and they didn't get the job done.
I know.
It was close. I'll give them that. But it's kind of like, guys, it's 1 year in the grand scheme of things. You can't go play a Pop Tarts Bowl against BYU. They're basically just telling everyone, we're Notre Dame, so we just deserve to be in every year because we're Notre Dame, which I think is stupid.
And I don't know. It's BYU already got shafted for the playoffs, and now we get screwed over in our bowl game, and it's we can't catch a break. Georgia Tech, it's still a decent game. They're still ranked. BYU should go win that game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's everyone loves to see good old Notre Dame, BYU. Outside of maybe Liberty, the 2 hallmark religious schools in the country.
Yeah, they robbed us of members
game.
Versus Catholics, man. It's disappointing. That should be a good game, though. BYU, Georgia Tech, Bear Bachmeier, provided he's a little more healthy, versus Haynes King.
Yeah, hopefully he's
really good quarterback battle. BYU 11-2, Georgia Tech is 9-3. They lost all 3 of their games against pretty solid ACC competition, at least. Still ACC competition.
And Georgia.
Undefeated for the long
And Georgia.
time, so.
Yeah, Georgia was up there, and who very well. I'm thinking Georgia might be the national champion.
I think I've been calling it for a couple weeks now. It's going to be Georgia, Texas Tech. They got put on opposite sides of the bracket. That's what I was looking for.
It's going to work out for them.
The only one that might stop Tech is Indiana. That's
Indiana's
the
good.
only team I'm worried about.
They're for real. But, yeah, I think it should be a good bowl game. BYU ends up in what's called the People's National Championship.
We love this bowl.
The European mind can't comprehend that you've got 2 teams playing to essentially eat a giant Pop Tart.
Yeah, who else gets the Pop Tart and you can eat that mascot when you win?
That's what makes college football great.
Come on,
man. That's what makes college
awesome.
football the best. That's so great.
But here's what I'll say about this, all this, Notre Dame, Miami stuff. It's we shouldn't even be having this debate. You know a great way to fix this of oh crap, who do we put in?
Oh, here we go.
Maybe the 11-1 team. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
We won't go into it because I've exhausted all of my energy on it for weeks now. But we'll just some teams lost to 2, 3 teams this year who are in the playoffs. BYU only lost to 1.
There you go. Reach out to Kimball if you want to hear more of his
Reach out to Kimball.
His
there's
takes for BYU.
There's no problem if we just let the teams who earned it get in. Then we don't have to worry about who didn't earn it because the teams who earned it are in.
100%. All right, moving on here. We're going to go the University of Utah.
Here we go.
Set to play Nebraska in the Las Vegas Bowl. Utah 10-2, Nebraska 7-5. Zach, how you feeling about this bowl matchup for your Utes?
I think things are looking pretty good. Obviously, the big key is that Nebraska lost their starting quarterback, Dylan Raiola, which will be a heavy loss for them. And then also with Utah, they have multiple possible first-round drafts. Mm-hmm. And so I expect them not to play in the game, which will definitely change up our offensive line.
Which is lame. I don't like when players do that.
I mean, it sucks for the game, but obviously makes sense. If you have a chance to go first round in the draft,
yeah, it's understandable.
Don't get injured on
it's understandable.
On the last game.
I get it. It's understandable. Dylan Raiola suffered that season-ending injury week 10 versus USC. Since then, Nebraska's not looked good. They beat UCLA by 7, and then they lost to both Penn State and Iowa by 27 and 24, respectively.
That Penn State loss is an ugly one.
It's pretty bad. TJ Lateef is the current QB1. He hasn't been great. He's been okay. Not great, though. And so I think Utah should pretty handily win this one.
Yeah, I think Utah will be able to take care of business, and because it's in Vegas, you're going to get a huge crowd of red in there.
Yeah, it's going to be a home game, essentially.
Well, they'll be both red for the Cornhuskers and the Utes, but
more
there's going to be a lot of Utah
fans. I can't imagine many
there.
Nebraska fans are going to travel all the way to just watch their team get whooped.
Yeah, no, and also because last time Utes were at Vegas, it was for the Pac-12 championship game. I think a lot of Utah fans are going to want to go back there, at least for like the memories almost. I mean,
Don't blame you.
I might be there. We'll see, but
Zach might be making the trip to Vegas. Utah State gets the famous Idaho Potato Bowl versus Washington State. Both 6-6 teams. Future Pac-12 matchup, too, starting next season.
That'll be fun.
It's going to be a fun game.
This was a great poll. I was expecting some of the MAC teams, so I mean like Buffalo or some garbage like that. But hey, I'll take Washington State.
The fact we get to play Wazoo, that's what's up, man.
I was even expecting them to go to a game Potato Bowl. So honestly, that's a surprise in itself that I was very happy with.
The
podcast. If there's any bowl game that we
we
love as much as the Pop Tarts Bowl, it's the Idaho Potato Bowl.
Again, yeah, like Utah
favorite.
State fans kind of use the Potato Bowl as we're just going to be a Potato Bowl team this year, right? So it's kind of said in jest, but at the same time, it's like the European mind cannot comprehend this. You have an entire postseason football game between two mediocre college football teams.
Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by the historic Idaho Commission on Potatoes.
And let's not forget
What's
that
more American
blue
than that?
turf, too.
Blue turf,
Iconic.
all-you-can-eat French fries. That's actually a thing. Look it up.
It's an absolute masterpiece.
It's going to be awesome. Really good regional matchup, too. I think there's going to be a lot of fans from both teams there.
Yeah, honestly, it's of all the bowl games, this is honestly the one I'm the most excited for from the state.
It's going to be a good one, man.
I think BYU and Utah are just going to roll, and then this is actually going to be a good game.
Utah State gets put in a good game.
Looking forward to it.
Because this might be a future, I would not be surprised if in 2 or 3 years these two teams play for a Pac-12 championship game. Honestly.
They could
Boise
be.
State gets out of the way, it's these two.
Yeah,
so,
100%, 100%. All right, well, coming up next, hot or not takes, your favorite part of the show, and a brand new donkey of the day. See who it is next. All right, hot or not takes, everyone's favorite part of the show, where we get to see someone look like an absolute buffoon.
Bring out the spice.
Wearing the donkey head. And I believe last week we were on this panel making our picks. I said South Florida would beat Utah State. Regrettably, I was right. I was not happy about that. Zach here, however, said that if Utah State did not have their way with South Florida,
I did.
He would be thrown on the donkey head. And so, ladies and gentlemen, your second ever donkey of the day, Zach Bates. Clap it up for Zach.
With great disappointment, it pains me to wear this, but nevertheless, we learn from our mistakes. And
would you like to take this time, Zach, to apologize to the University of South Florida?
University of South Florida, it is my most deepest, sincerest apologies to you. I was not familiar with your game, and apparently the Aggies suck when it comes to
that game was rough.
That game was rough.
A bad game.
When it comes to games like those, I guess we didn't have that dog in us. So, good job. I'll give you that one. But watch out. Next time the Aggies will be traveling somewhere, I expect them to learn from their mistakes. Honestly, a loss is kind of needed for that team. They need to lose.
I think that brought them down to earth. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Zach, thank you for your apology to the fine people at Tampa. You can throw off the horse head if you want. If you want to keep wearing it, you also can.
I'll keep it on.
Okay, cool.
We'll enjoy it for this
Zach's going to enjoy it for the hot or not takes. We got people outside the library looking at us, so this is what's up.
That's what happens when
all right, hot or not takes. Kimball, do you want to start today?
I will. You guys might disagree with me on this one, actually. I'm a little scared.
Prepare the
about
donkey
this
head
take.
for him.
Okay.
My hot take is that UVU is the third best basketball team in the state.
So,
and that in a head-to-head game, they would beat the University of Utah.
Okay, I was going to ask for what the levels were, but makes sense.
Yeah, so obviously BYU, Utah State, then UVU. But I think UVU is better than Weber State and Utah. Thoughts?
I agree. I honestly agree with that. I think Utah, again, we'll talk about them briefly later. They barely beat Cal Baptist, who's also out of the WAC, and then Grand Canyon, who is just recently in the WAC. And so they lost to Grand Canyon, yeah. So I think I agree. I think if they played each other head to head, I think UVU would probably find a way to come away with that. What do you think, Jose?
I think you're just being straight mean. I mean, Utah basketball's never been one to be too proud of themselves, and Kimball's just kicking them when they're down.
Oh, wait a minute.
They're having a good turnaround for sure.
I was going to say Final Four in 1998, Sweet 16 in 2014, 2015. So, like, they've had stuff to be proud about. They're probably a more storied franchise than any other.
They are the only team in the state to ever do it.
Yeah, so they are the best team historically in the state of Utah.
Recent years they've struggled.
Recent years they've been bad though.
I can't take you serious with that one.
I will say I feel like the Utes could do better this year than they did last year.
I agree. I could see them doing it. So, they've looked. They're 7-3 right now, and so
look into the future. They might start to move up in that rankings, but I think Kimball's probably right.
Kimball's
right
probably
now
correct.
Utah is not a basketball school right now.
Hey, I mean, UVU plays Cal Baptist soon, so
we'll get
those are probably going to be 1 and 2 in the WAC, so it should be an interesting game. I'll go into my hot or not take. I was looking at Utah State. I was thinking about them this week, how they played on this road trip that we'll get to momentarily. My hot take is that Mason Falslev is currently Utah State's best overall player. Now, don't get that confused. He's not the best scorer on Utah State. That would be MJ Collins.
Indeed.
I would like to personally apologize to Mason if he is, by chance, watching this, or anybody that knows Mason personally has talked to him before. Looking at you, Womack family, I'm sure you've had a conversation with him. I know they're big viewers of the show. Shout out Womacks. Mason, I'm sorry for questioning your consistency at times. Mm-hmm. I think I was looking at it all wrong, and here's what I mean. Averages 14.4 points per game, second on the team. 5.8 rebounds, second on the team. 2 assists, second on the team. 2.8 steals per game, second on the team. And he has multiple steals on the defensive end in 7 of 9 games they've played this season. And so what that tells me, and what I saw with my own 2 eyes watching Utah State this weekend and other times this season, is that Mason, even when he doesn't score a lot, he finds other ways to impact the game. And then when that team really struggles, he's the one scoring. He's the one leading the charge anyway, right? So he's a competitor. He's really good. I think I've come to jump on the Mason Falslev train this season. What do you think about that, Kimball?
I mean, he's definitely top 2 on the team, for sure. Like, hands down, he's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd say he's the I'm sticking with MJ Collins, honestly.
Here's my thing with
he just outscores him by too much.
He does, but Collins also that's all Collins really does is he scores. He doesn't distribute the ball. He's a primary scorer, which we need. It's what the Aggies need this year.
If it doesn't come from him, where do
it's not going to come from anywhere. And so I'm not knocking on MJ Collins. I'm just saying like he only rebounds twice a game, only assists about twice a game. And so, I mean, Mason isn't the best distributor either. He only averages about 2 assists per game, but he rebounds a lot, and you're averaging almost 3 steals per game. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that little highlight on the notes, he's second in every stat. So I'm like, I don't know if he doesn't lead the team at all.
But it's like
he's
overall
he's really dang close to steals,
good.
Though. He's really dang close. He's right behind Drake Allen. I don't know, Zach. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Actually, on this one,
I see your point. Yeah,
I
agree.
Drake Allen.
Okay, Zach.
I mean, Mason is contributing in all the ways that, like, he's not a point guard.
He's a shooting guard.
He's a shooting guard. So he's a 2. Yeah. Not the tallest guy, but like rebound still, assist he does well. Steals defensively he's a menace, which like stats wise that doesn't show up too much other than like steals.
Yeah.
So the defensive impact doesn't get shown up quite a bit, but I think he definitely contributes. He's not like the primary scorer like MJ Collins is, but obviously you see when he does score 20 plus, it works out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Zach, what's your hot take?
So I was thinking, and I don't know. I didn't know if I wanted to go with 2 hot takes or if I wanted to just like sell for 1. But I don't know. Just watching that Big 12 championship game, I was thinking, and I was like, man, I think I could see Texas Tech being in the national championship. But then I was also thinking too, So this could be, I guess, a too hot take segment for me or whatever. If Bachmeier is not healthy, I mean, Georgia Tech might put BYU for the run for their money in the Pop Tart Bowl. So not saying that they're going to lose for certain, but if Bachmeier's not healthy, Georgia Tech is... All right, there's Dante. Georgia Tech wins then.
I think I'll start because I know Kimball probably got a lot to say about this, but
Go ahead.
I think Georgia Tech is such a one-dimensional team. It all runs through their quarterback, Haynes King. He does everything for them. He leads the team in passing yards, rushing yards. He's kind of their only, big playmaker. And so, I mean, yeah, it's worrisome having, any of BYU's backups who haven't played at all this season play them in, lead them into the bowl game.
Yeah.
But I think as long as BYU's defense can take Haynes King out of that game, which I think they will be able to, I think BYU still wins regardless of who's at quarterback. I just think it's going to be a lot more low scoring and a lot more of kind of a defensive slugfest if that's what happens.
I was going to say, I'll agree that it would be a horrifying game if Bear's not healthy, and it's I think it's a toss-up at that point. But the reason why I think BYU would still edge him out is that defense, but also the combo of LJ Martin and having Sione Moa back. I mean, obviously, Moa got shut down against Tech, but everyone's getting shut down against Tech. Mm-hmm. And so I think BYU would be able to run against Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. But I agree. If Bear's not in, clearly they did not trust McKay Hillstead enough to put him in. Mm-hmm. They should have put McKay Hillstead in because Bear couldn't move. He was hobbling in the pocket. He had thrown 2 interceptions. He'd fumbled. The fumble wasn't really his fault, but
he got nailed.
That was not on him.
That.
But
he got
either
hit.
way, it's it's going so bad. It's you just got to try something else. Mm-hmm. And so clearly, McKay Hill, the gap is huge. And so it's we're not seeing Hillstead play against Georgia Tech. And so it's it's all on Bear. So I'd agree. It's if Bear's not healthy, it's we don't really have a backup option. So I would not be surprised if Georgia Tech beats BYU if Bear is still hobbling around.
Yeah. So there's unless they give him some of that very sweet meds.
Some good old boosters.
Those are my hot takes then.
He was definitely drugged up on something that second half. He was moving a little bit better to start, and then he just got hit again, and it became an issue again. But shout out Bear Bachmeier, man.
We love
heck
Bear.
Of a season. He's
going
to be really good for BYU for the next few years. Coming up next, we're going to get into some college basketball and look at the week ahead. Going to be a historic one for the week of Utah or for the state of Utah rather, that you won't want to miss. Coming up to you next. All right, married to the game, college basketball in the state of Utah this week. Before we get started, though, we want to give a shout out to producer Matt. Our friend Matt is running the production for this.
Come show yourself.
Come show yourself. Come to the camera, Matt.
Come show your cute face.
Okay, well.
Hey, it's not wrong.
It's my boys right here.
It's producer Matt.
Shout out to
ball
Matt.
Knowledge. He's a dog. So if you like the production quality of this video, leave a follow for producer Matt.
New to the team.
And so we'll let you know. Awesome. Be left with a parting message. So shout out producer Matt. We appreciate you. Utah State road trip, but not a great road trip to start.
No.
Went in 7-0, lost to USF. They were just outmatched physically all night, and really not a whole lot of production outside of Mason Falslev and MJ Collins during that game. Really quick, because I don't want to focus on the negative too much, but Kimball, what were your thoughts on that game?
It was just a bad game. It sucks to see an undefeated team lose, right?
Yeah.
It's that was the worst part of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was just we were never in the game.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, we seemed out, we couldn't do anything that game. They just big-bodied us, honestly.
It's true. I think anytime that the Aggies don't have more than 3 people over 10 points,
it's going to be a tough game.
They're not going to automatically win it. Which was the case for this last one against USF. So
yeah, and I don't want to spend too much more time on the USF game. I think what that taught us, though, is that this team's really good. I still expect them to lead the Mountain West. They've just got a long way to go. They have to be very intentional in every game they play. And I think what we learned is that a Mountain West title is not guaranteed, right? Because that league is starting to get hotter and hotter. They had a really good weekend. New Mexico had a really good weekend. San Diego State.
The teams are showing up.
Wyoming. So teams, Colorado State beat an undefeated Colorado team. And so it's like we've got competition in the Mountain West. It's going to be a tough league to win. I think as long as Utah State can stay grounded, though, and stay humble and just play their game, I think they should be okay.
And we saw that with the next game.
Yeah, went and won at Charlotte yesterday. They looked so much better. They started off slow about the first 10 minutes of the first half. It was kind of a back-and-forth game, and then Utah State started to pull away. As usual, Mason Falslev and MJ Collins led scoring. Mason Falslev looked really good. Dude would not give up.
22 points.
Yeah, I was telling Zach I actually went back after I finished work last night and watched this entire game. And it was, they looked really good. I want to actually give a shout out to Carson Templin, though. He really provided that late first half momentum shift. And
surprisingly,
he hit 2 threes, and they weren't just like
big news,
which is even more shocking.
No, but they weren't. I want to credit him on the what he did for us, though, because they weren't like they were just like lucky heave him up threes. Like they were really contested shots, but they were solid shots too. They were in momentum. They were good threes. It wasn't like he just popped one out randomly. And so he finishes with 12 points. I don't think he had a second half point. I don't even remember if he played the second half. He got kind of banged up towards the end of the first half, and it almost looked like he got hit where the sun doesn't shine, but I'm not entirely sure on that. He may have played a little bit in the second half, though. I'd have to go back and look at that. But yeah, really good win. Did exactly what they were supposed to. They've got a really good Illinois State team coming up, which we will discuss that matchup later in the show.
Templin 12 points in 17 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that out of Templin. So
he was a dog.
I'll say this to prove my further earlier statement about the stats wise. When they lost to USF, Falslev scored 19, Collins Jr. scored 19, and then the next highest scorer only scored 6 points. And everybody else was 4-0 after that.
Yeah.
And then
that's not a winning stat line.
Yeah. Now to the Charlotte game. The Charlotte game where they looked good, you had Falslev with 22, Collins with 18, and then, like they said, Templin had 12, and then everybody contributed with their 6, 2, and 4. But when you have that third option that brings the help, it changes the game for the Aggies.
Yeah, and I do also want to give a bit of a shout-out before we move on to Tucker Anderson. This was a game where he really started to look like he was at least figuring it out. He had a couple of big threes for the Aggies, and he looked really good. He played some good defensive plays. And so, that's what we like to see. Utah State stole the ball at an incredibly high rate. I'll talk about that later and what they look like with that. But let's move on to Utah basketball. All right, Utah basketball beats Cal Baptist 91-85 at the Huntsman Center. Led by Terrence Brown, 27 points, Don McHenry, 21, and then Keanu Dawes had an incredible stat line of 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. So he was pulling down rebounds and distributing.
Yeah.
Zach, what do you think about this win for the Utes?
They picked up from their kind of slow roll that they had with the past couple of losses. And I think they were able to find a way to win a game, do it in a dominant fashion. So you can see that this team wins games, especially when it's like a 50-50 game or one that they should win. They can do that majority of the time. I think we're hopefully starting to see more of that progress of a team that you could say is like in the rebuild phase right now, which they kind of are. So that I think for what it is and what you're expecting them to be, I think they're doing pretty good.
Yeah. You got anything to add to that, Kimball?
After the kind of rough loss against Cal, I was impressed by their performance against Cal Baptist. That's a solid win. I'm not going to lie, I didn't think they were going to win that game. So.
Yeah. Terrence Brown for the past few games had been under his 20 points per game, and then now he popped up back to 27. So
he looked really good in that win.
Huge rebound.
Here's the thing, Utah scores. They're a
They
high-scoring team.
are.
Yeah, 90s.
The problem is their defense is just horrible, but they can, as Noah says, they can shoot the rock.
Yeah, if you can outshoot your opponent, they've got it.
For sure. BYU also beat Cal Baptist this week. Big win, 91-60. BYU looked every part of the top 10 team they are. AJ DeBonta, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Kimball's favorite player, Keba Keita, went monster.
Oh my gosh.
23 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. And then Rob Wright also had a double-double, 2 double-doubles in this game. 14 points, 12 assists. Kimball, BYU wins in dominant fashion. How you feeling about that win?
I mean, look, AJ DeBonta had a really good game again. Like, this is Keba Keita hype-up time now. A center outscored AJ DeBonta. A center. Oh, my gosh. He's such a dog, man. BYU's looking like they're kind of starting to find their rhythm. They're just phenomenal. I mean, it's great. It's so fun to watch. Like, Keba Keita's climbing now in his points. I mean, obviously, as a center, that's not his job, is to score. His job is to just be the big man in the paint. But he's scoring, and you already toss him on that just dominant big three. Like, BYU's going places this year, and I'm excited for them to finally get into some Big 12 play.
Hopefully they break that Final Four appearance.
I know. I'm like, let's get some of those big games. Like, we got that UConn game. That was a close game, but like, I want to see some of these good Big 12 games.
Amen, amen. They've got Clemson next at the Mecca, the greatest basketball arena in the world. MSG in the greatest.
Oh, never mind. Yes.
In the greatest.
I agree. It is the greatest.
The greatest city in the world. And so Clemson, BYU, New York City, tomorrow night. Must-see TV.
See, I got confused on the arena, but yes.
Yes.
You're like, wait a minute.
Not the Marriott Center.
The world's greatest arena.
Yes, world's greatest arena. Going to nearby Orem, though. UVU continues to look amazing. They gave San Diego State a run for their money.
Oh, that game was so
lost by about 11 points, I believe. I think it was 77-66. Kimball just brought that up. Thank you. And then they went and they kind of went scorched earth on Bowling Green, and so who's a really solid mid-major team out of the MAC. Jackson Holcomb, 17 points, 10 rebounds at San Diego State, 19 points, 7 rebounds at Bowling Green, along with big performances from Tyler Hendricks, Hayden Welling, and Trevin Leonhardt as well. Kimball, you've been on that UVU hype train all year.
I have been, and I'm proud to be
they are
on
looking.
it.
They are looking really, really good.
He's purchasing property on that stake.
I mean, here's the thing. So San Diego State is good. They kind of have a rough start, but like they're still going to be a great team. They're going to be a contender in the Mountain West. They were the preseason favorite.
Yeah.
Their bench scored 59 points against UVU.
Wow, that is crazy.
Holy cow.
That was the one thing that kept them in that. UVU would have won that game if not for San Diego State's bench. I was listening to that game.
Crazy. And like Isaac Davis went out early.
Yeah.
And, like he fouled out so fast. He only scores 2 points. I think he fouled out like halfway through the first half. It was ridiculous.
Geez.
Like he's a starter, played 16 minutes, and then he was out.
Kind of shocking how did your
And-
coach let you get in for the whole half and foul out at that point? But hey,
Yeah.
I think I remember watching. He was on the court in the early second half, so I think it was early second half. But it was enough of a foul problem that he played most of his minutes in the first half.
He hit 4 pretty quick, and then he was out.
Yeah.
But,
So
I mean, but then they avenged themselves. That Bowling Green game, that's a good team.
It's a good
Bowling
win.
Green's good.
Good win.
And UVU, they looked good in that game, honestly. I mean, they looked all right in the San Diego State game as well. It's just San Diego State was hitting everything. Like, they were just good.
They were just hitting shots.
But, I mean, UVU, man.
They're good.
They're rolling.
We may be looking at 3 tournament teams
Knocking
in the
on the
state
door.
of Utah for the first time in a long time. And
They just got to win on the road. That's their kryptonite right now.
That's
They
just-
cannot win on the road. They're 0-3 on the road, but they win at home, and so
they went at home. Speaking of home, they host Idaho State tomorrow at the UCCU Center in Orem.
good old regional game.
And then they're going to play UC Santa Barbara in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center on Saturday as a part of the Salt Lake Slam. Illinois State and Utah State will also be competing in that, as well as Utah and Mississippi State have another little Salt Lake Classic, whatever, at the Delta Center that night. Which brings us into our picks for the week. All right, time for this week's picks, everyone's favorite segment on Married to the Game. Really quick, though, Zach, you looked it up. When was the last time the state of Utah got 3 teams into the tournament?
So some stats. So since it's a pick 'em part, I'll let you guys pick too. So from the last time that they had 3 was 2011, and I'll let you pick. Who do you think those teams were?
11.
I mean, you already showed me, so I'll just.
Some guys did already get to hear it, so.
I don't know. My ball knowledge back then is.
2 of them are really easy.
I mean, I would say
you got
probably,
2 gimmies.
You got 2 gimmies.
Is it not the big 3 from the state?
You would think that, but
You'd think that one of the big 3 didn't make it
was
that year.
BYU, Utah State, and Weber State. So it would be fun to see
Go Cats.
UVU, I guess, kind of revitalize that.
Say it would be UVU's first tournament appearance.
Ever.
Robbed from last
would
year.
be lovely.
Should
All
be
right,
anyway.
going into our picks, BYU, Clemson, New York City. Kimball, who you got winning this game?
BYU big.
Yeah.
Clemson's good, but I think BYU's rolling. I think they've kind of gotten over that beginning of the season.
Yeah.
The
slump.
humps, trying to get there.
I think this is gonna be a staple game for BYU.
Hopefully, good on the resume.
Clemson 7-2. They beat Georgia and West Virginia, but they also lost to Georgetown and Alabama. I think BYU's closer to Alabama than they are to Georgia or West Virginia by a wide margin. So I'm taking BYU to win it.
Yeah.
Multiple contributors with BYU, like we've seen. If everybody plays their parts, scores 20 plus, that's going to be an easy game for BYU. It would be fun to watch. Hopefully, Clemson does make it entertaining.
Yeah.
And not just a BYU blowout, but I think this will be going for BYU and a good win on the resume.
100%. Going in, Illinois State, Utah State at the Delta Center. Zach, what you got for this one?
Like I kind of mentioned earlier, I think that loss with USF was going to be helpful. You always love to see your team undefeated for a while, but like too with BYU, where they lost to UConn early, you get those kinks out. So I think this is going to be a good changing point for the Aggies. I think they handle business, and basically a home game in a neutral site.
Yeah.
Over at the Delta Center, so going to be fun to watch, but Aggies can win it.
Yeah, Illinois State is no slouch. They're actually built a lot like USF, which worries me. They just don't score as much. They do have a lot of really athletic guards that can kill you, though, which is what USF used to beat us. So I think if Illinois State gets out to a hot start, it might be a kind of a stress watch. I want to bring up this stat, though. Utah State's defense is elite, guys. They're not just good this year. They're elite. They average 11.4 steals per game.
Wow.
Which is tied for 5th in Division I.
That's double what
impressive.
Illinois State
It's insane.
is
It's
doing.
insane. And
It's
so
crazy.
I don't think people understand just how many steals the Aggies get. Even in games they lose, they steal the ball a lot. They've got a really good defensive scheme, and so I think USU, like you said, they take a lesson from that USF game. They've got an entire week to prepare for this one. It's not until next Saturday, so I think Utah State wins.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois State started 1-2, but they're on a 7-game win streak now.
Yeah.
So they're hot, but I think Utah State is going to have to come from behind early. But give me Utah State in a close one. Again, I think it's going to be. I mean, Illinois State's a good team.
Yeah.
They're 8-2. But
they could be a tournament
I think
team.
Utah
they
State
could contend
just
for the Missouri Valley.
produces them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
100%. All right, going to the next game at the Delta Center, rather. UVU versus UC Santa Barbara. Kimball. I don't think I even have to ask at this point who he's picking.
I love my Wolverines.
There he goes.
Give me them Wolverines.
It's back.
He's got the Lee Corso headgear pick. Okay. I like
Big.
that. Big.
Big
Okay.
on him.
Kimball
Okay.
likes saying big. He enjoys saying
He's
he enjoys
a
going
big guy.
I agree. UC Santa Barbara, also a really good team out of the Big West. They are constantly in contention for the Big West title. Future conference opponent of UVU starting next year, actually. But I think UVU, they just trump UCSB statistically. So give me UVU. Fun fact about Santa Barbara, though, they were a part of the first ever college basketball game I attended in person.
Cool.
So,
Really?
Yeah, it was a UCSB at the Spectrum against Utah State when I was like
Impressive.
8 or 9.
Noah's
There
got a
you
little
go.
history then.
There you go, a little Noah Smith history. We got torched by a future NBA player that was on Santa Barbara's roster that year. But Zach, give us a pick for this game.
Yeah, no, I feel like UVU, like we saw with the with the stats that we were talking about, they got some contributors. As long as Isaac Davis does not foul out early, I think they can handle themselves with UC Santa Barbara. So.
Awesome. And then our last game that night at the Delta Center, Mississippi State versus Utah. Zach, what are you thinking about this one?
Dude, Mississippi State's a good team. Their record is sub 500, so it's not looking too
Doesn't
great.
indicate it. It's going in the wrong direction pretty fast.
But the teams that they've lost to are pretty good, and the games that they've won are pretty solid. I think it will be a very, very hard matchup for Utah. But I think Utes can pull it off. If Terrence Brown has a big game, which I will be calling for, Salt Lake, good attendance, I'm going to go with Utah.
We'll say that.
Okay, well, bigger than like the Huntsman.
No,
I can hold more.
I think actually you'll see a good amount of Utah fans at this game.
I don't know, though, because it's in the same exact neighborhood that the...
But it's the Delta Center.
It's a funner environment when you're in the NBA stadium.
That's true. Just as long as they don't play on those ugly city edition or whatever, the NBA Cup courts. Let's get rid of that crap.
That's bad.
Yeah, so like you said, Mississippi State's 4-5. They statistically profile a lot like Utah. They only have about 2 scoring options. Pretty, not a great defense either. Josh Hubbard's just so good for Mississippi State, averages 23.5 points per game, and I think he's going to lead Mississippi State to a win against Utah.
Give me the Utes.
Ooh, okay.
I think this is... it's going to be a good game. Like, I could see it going either way, but I actually think Utah pulls this one out. Believe it or not, probably never thought you'd hear me say it.
Yeah, it's one of the few times I think I have heard that.
I think Utah wins. I'm not going to lie.
We agree on everything except this one.
I think the state of Utah gets a nice clean sweep this week. So
yeah, I don't think it's happening. I think Mississippi State will beat them. But
again, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Utah just scores too much.
Yeah,
it'll be a shootout, but I think
it'd be fun
Utah
to see
finds
this.
a way.
It'd be fun to see this game go like 90-plus points for both teams.
I think
it's going to be a show. Mississippi State moves fast,
It'll be sweet.
Anyway,
entertaining.
Those have been our picks for the week, and that has been our show, Married to the Game. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Any parting messages for the loyal fans out there?
Hey, just shout out Bronco for coming in clutch with that intro again.
He's the man.
We love Bronco.
We love Bronco. He said we're one of his favorite shows. He's one of our favorite coaches.
It's true.
Zach, anything to shout out before we leave?
I don't think so. I guess we will be seeing you next week on another wonderful episode.
Yes, sir. Well, shout out Grandma. Shout out Steph Curry. Shout out Pop Tarts Bowl. We love you all. We'll see you guys next week. If you know anyone that's married to the game, or if you yourself are not quite married to the game yet, but would like to be, leave a follow, drop a comment on your favorite flavor of Pop Tart, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.